Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunnstampin.com for more information. Well, I am super excited to share my alternatives with you this month for the Paper Pumpkin kit called Sentimental Rose, April 2019. Inside there's a little flyer telling you that next month Shelley Gardner has helped design the kit. And this is a little flyer that explains what a distinctive stamp is, because here in this stamp set you will see 2 distinctive stamps. So distinctive stamps create different opacities or different shades of light and dark in a single stamped image for realistic depth and intensity. Some people like them, some people don't. I actually really like this kit, and I like the stamp as well. And I'm just showing you the instructions, which I will ignore completely later on. But I wanted to make you take note that there was a card box or a note card box. So you could give this as a gift if you wanted to. So it's really very easy to put the box together. You just take off the film there and that's it. And then there's a whole bunch of die cuts. Here are some note card bases. Yes, these are note card size. There's some corrugated banners and rectangles. And there's some die cut rosy pieces. And I think they were done in Flirty Flamingo. Then there's some papers that have like a watercolor sploosh on them. Couple of different designs, and then of course the really cute envelopes, and some more corrugated squares for layering purposes, and that long rectangle is for the box. And then inside there of this little baggie there is the embellishments and some glue dots and dimensionals and some twine. So you know that I could have chosen to do a flowery rendition of this stamp. Everybody's sort of doing them, you know, just a different way of arranging the flower. But I wanted to show you a couple of different ways in which to use the kit contents to create a non-flowery card. And I've done 3 non-flowery cards in this video. So I have taken that one of those watercolor papers, the green, actually no, it's the, I don't even know. I think it was the bigger of the 2. And I have cut strips of 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And I did 7 of them, but I only used 6. Now this is a yellow card base. I think this is So Saffron. I'm not 100% sure. And I have cut those strips at 1 7/8, and then I'm just cutting the little squares to 1 7/8. Now I'm adhering my smaller pieces on top of my bigger pieces. It's real simple. And then I actually put dimensionals on the back, and here is my Whisper White thick card base. Of course, I always use the Whisper White card bases when it comes to this Paper Pumpkin alternatives. And here I'm gently placing my squares, my little inchy squares, but they're not inchies, they're 1 1/4 inches, on my card in a fashion that I like, I guess. I'm not pressing anything down till I'm ready for it. And of course I had to be different with this one, so I made it into a diamond. And then I stamped with the gray granite ink on the little mint macaron label piece. I put that on dimensionals and put that on my diamond shape. And then I added 3 of the mint macaron enamel dots. And then I went back after I had finished designing all of my cards and added 3 more. So the still pictures, you're going to see a couple more enamel dots. And I think they look good there. Normally I do like 3, 5, or 7, but I'm breaking the rule and I did 6. Okay, so this is my second card. This is a Happy Mother's Day card. So I used Flirty Flamingo, and that is Daffodil Delight. And I'm just sort of trying to get a color variation. So to me, these, as I'm stamping them out, they're too bright. So now I sort of did the same thing, used my dauber, added some of the Daffodil Delight to my Flirty, flipped it over, and then stamped, and then flipped it over again so I get a second stamping. So basically I have 2 flowers that I inked up with Flirty Flamingo. I added the Daffodil Delight to the center, and then I stamped off, basically. So I'm doing the same technique with my, this is Mint Macaron and Tranquil Tide, and I'm doing the leaves now, and I'm just darkening. I'm using a dauber just to create variation in the colors. All right, so this is one of the note cards. It has gray stripy circles as a design, and that is I cut that down to 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then the banner, I just cut 1 inch by, and it ends up to be 3 3/4 when I'm done. So all my pieces are here, and now I'm just going to assemble everything. And I'm going to mention here that I fussy cut the flower and the leaves out. So I put a little, this was gray, just basic gray that I had in my stash, and I backed the note card front piece there, the circly one, on that gray paper. It just looked better. So now I'm putting this little strip across and cutting it down. And then I'm putting hang on. I cut my flower in half. And then I put my favorite adhesive. I just wanted to make it look like it was a little fuller. And so this is a little trick. You can cut stuff in half if there's a banner. It hides it nice. And then that way I can pop this full flower up on dimensionals. And then I can, and that's another little trick, to put dimensionals on your banner and not on anything else, because the banner was on dimensionals as well, right? So sometimes you could overstick things. So, and now I'm just putting my favorite adhesive on the leaves and tucking them underneath the flowers to create some more dimension and some interest and breaking up with the colors. I really liked the leaves, actually. The Mint Macaron and Tranquil Tide, it went really well with my pink and yellow flowers. And that backing of the gray looks awesome. I think was it gray or smoky slate? I'm pretty sure it's smoky slate, folks. Doesn't matter, just a spare piece of gray that I had in my stash. So I popped that on dimension. So there's a lot of dimension going on here. And then I inked up my Happy Mother's Day, and I actually used the ink that was included in the kit, which is gray granite. And I did put some enamel dots, because, you know, they came in the kit, so I might as well use them. And I did a triangle of 3, which is my nature normally to do it that way. I went a little crazy on the first card. I like this one. Happy Mom's Day. Mom's Day is coming up too, I think. This is my third card. It's probably my favorite. I always like the weird ones. So this is an envelope, and I am ripping apart my envelope, and I will cut it down to, I'm pretty sure it's 5 1/4 by 4. And I actually burnished out that little crease, the folds. So I'm trying not to use all of my kit contents, but I also wanted a little bit of backing. That was a Whisper White card base as well. And then I adhered it to my card, and then I took the smaller yellow and green watercolory focal point and put that on my card, and that was lower and to the left. And then I'm using these corrugated rectangles, and I'm eyeballing it, but the order in which I start, so the top one is 4.2 centimeters, the second one is 6 centimeters, the third one is 4.6 centimeters, the fifth one is 8.5 centimeters, and the last one is 3.8 centimeters. And if I'm in centimeters, because it's far more accurate, in my case, to measure something like that. I have a hard time with the 13th, 16ths. So I measured it in, you know, my country's chosen form of measurement. I normally do inches for you guys, but this was, and like I said, I eyeballed it, so I had to measure it after, and it was just a little bit more accurate for me. Anyway, eyeball it if you're going to choose to do one. You don't have to be exact. I used the Best Wishes stamps and I stamped it in the gray granite that came in the kit. And I put that on dimensionals as well. And then I put some of the mint macaron enamel dots on this card. And this one's my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe clean, white, I don't know. I'm not sure. Love it. Oh, and I did add a few more dots. All right, for my fourth card, here's another card that is all flowery. So I'm starting with Flirty Flamingo, and I'm using just my little stamping mat here so that I don't get ink all over my work surface, but also that I get good contact. I ended up using a couple of Post-it notes. And then this is how I save time. I don't stamp on all of the Post-it notes, but I may take one or two of the Post-it note and just cut the image out. So one Post-it note will actually have the image on it, and the 2 or 3 afterwards don't, but they still work great as a mask. And that's what I'm doing. I'm fussy cutting out the mask. So I always go on the inside of the line too, not on the outside. That's a little tip for masking. So here it is. I masked off my Flirty Flamingo, but I'm going in with the gray granite, and I'm kind of going for a little sepia look, but it's not really sepia because I have green leaves happening as well. It would have been really nice, actually, had I not use the green, the mint macaron for the leaves later on. But, you know, hindsight's 20/20, folks. So here's my little Post-it notes. They come in handy for when I want to stamp with my mint macaron for the leaves. And anything that you stamp first will be in front. And everything that you mask off and then stamp will be in the back. So there we go. I love this part. Ta-da! And then I'm just adding higgledy-piggledy some some more leaves, adding some green in there. And then totally going off the radar here and using black ink for you, it says. And I did use 2 of the flirty enamel dots and then 1 of the mint macaron, but I changed my mind afterwards and I switch out that green one for a pink one. So I'm explaining so that you don't question me when it happens when you see the stills. Creative or, you know, artistic license. How's that? I used a little bit of Wink Stella over the flower, and there it is. Fifth and final card. This is probably the simplest of the bunch, but it's actually not the final card because I have a heck of a lot more cards, just still pictures though at the end of this video, so stay tuned. I did the same thing with the envelope. I ripped apart the envelope, cut it down to, I think it was 4 1/4 by 5, on a Whisper White thick card base. And now I'm using I don't even know what shape this is. It looks like a circle and a banner kind of stuck together. I ended up putting the one I'm working on right now, on dimensionals, and every other one is stuck down. So there's a little bit of interest there with dimension, which I think is kind of funky. And I did end up, I would advise not to do it the way I did it here by adhering everything down and then realizing that you have to stamp the greeting. So try to stamp the greeting before you adhere it down, because that's always good practice. Thank goodness I didn't have any errors this time around, but I make lots of errors all the time. I just get to edit it out of the videos. So, and then I put some mint macaron enamel dots, and that is my paper pumpkin for April 2019. Stay tuned for a lot more stills than what I did with my leftovers. I appreciate you guys so very much. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would love it if you did so and if you shared. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again next month for another paper pumpkin alternative. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.